last hour to get stuff working with scene set, and unfortunately I couldn't manage to get that working.
Or like sucks at.
Yeah, and the guys were helping me, z02e01 and Fjord, but we weren't being able to get that shit working. It needs authentication, and I think my server on Nginx doesn't handle that. Tried different ways to send it, but it just wasn't working. I can pull from you though, I think if you give me an RTP address you can try that. Yeah, but I don't have a public RTP address. Sorry, I'm talking with the guys on the scene set. Pull from
The smokeless should get that checked out.
Twitch. Maybe they are able to pull from Twitch. That would be nice. Okay, let's see if I'm already streaming. Doesn't look like it. Connecting, 0 views. Okay, so it should be already streaming on some places. Not sure if it's streaming on Facebook. Maybe on Facebook it only starts when the event actually starts. Let me check. No, it's already streaming on Facebook. Or no, this is the old one. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna delete this test actually. Yes, delete. Okay, and the stream should be live now. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna delete this test actually. Oh, I'm listening myself on echo, so it means something must be streaming. The stream should be live now. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna delete this test actually. Oh, I'm listening myself on echo, so it means something. Yeah, it's the Facebook thing. Schedule live, manual start, I guess. Save. And go live. Facepalm. Let me test if we're live. Twitch.
Live, live.
Twitch.
Yay!
Yeah, we are live.
Live.
Twitch. Why is it? There's like a border on Twitch for some reason. Oh, it's the demo that doesn't reach there. Okay, then it's fine. We are live. Why is it? There's like a border on Twitch for some reason. Oh, it's the demo that. Okay. It seems the scene set thing not working. I think everything looks alright. Okay, does any of you guys have any specific demo you want to watch before we actually start the show, which should be in 15 minutes from now? I actually should put a
Live Evil
count.
by Mandula.
Live Evil. Okay, I will.
I was selecting this one too. So one lands, my goodness.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah.
One sec though, I need to grab a drink.
If you don't mind, we'd like to
I need to get myself a beer as well. Meanwhile, let's try to figure out if Twitch has an RTMP.
I'll just leave my camera going, it's fine.
RTMP URL from channel. Yeah, I don't think I can grab. That sucks.
This beer is really gassy.
Yeah, I don't think it has RTMP.
Is it just me or like are the cameras frozen on Twitch?
Camera's frozen?
Yeah.
Like
Cool.
our faces?
Oh my god. On
yours
Skype it's working fine. And now everything is working again. I think Skype needed to be open, not minimized. So now it seems to be working fine.
We are moving again.
Okay, I'm gonna get myself a beer, and that's it. And be right back.
Yes.
If you don't mind, we'd like to play something for you. When I say it, it's a lot more white.
How do you actually watch the demos then? Do you just watch the Twitch stream? Because surely that.
The watch together thing's better because then it's
I see.
timed so that we all see it correctly.
Yeah, it's on sync.
And then we don't feed back our voices 20 seconds later because that would just
Right.
completely destroy your mind. So, that you don't want
Okay, so how are you guys doing?
Not doing too bad. Actually,
yeah.
it's the start of a 4-day weekend for me.
4-day
Me
weekend?
too.
Is there like
Yeah,
special
we
holidays
just
or
shipped
something?
our 1.0 at Fuse, and then tomorrow's a holiday, and then we're taking Friday off.
Ah, cool.
For
Congrats.
those of us on one of the teams. Thank you, by the way.
Lucky you, lucky you.
Lucky bastard. Okay, so I still have no clue what the format of this is supposed to be. I'm guessing maybe we talk about some topics that are somewhat new to the demo scene, like the parties that have happened, the parties that will happen sometime soon, or maybe I'll ask some of you guys how you started making demos. And we watch a few of your old crappy demos that you would rather we never watched.
Oh my, that's so mean.
So prepare, go to YouTube and delete all your videos of your old demos before we start the show. Or if not,
that's
copy
alright.
paste.
I was gonna say that's alright if you've uploaded them.
Sadly, I didn't properly prepare for this show. But I should start doing recordings because I know some guests at some point will like, no, I don't want to show people the awesomeness of my early work. So yeah, let's see how many people we have right now on stream. 10 watchers on Twitch apparently. Okay.
I get embarrassed enough with the new stuff.
You have no reason to be embarrassed, you just won a fucking award. Still not good enough.
This awkward silence suddenly. What happened?
Subtle, yeah.
Is that just on your desk in front of you the whole time?
Maybe.
X.
Oh.
Yes. Fabulous.
Also, people on the chat, if you can let us know of the volumes, if they are, you know, if I'm too loud or if the guys are too low or something like that.
Low.
I'm too low.
I'm too low for this shit.
Too low for my shirt.
Too sexy for my shirt.
I just amplified the volume a little bit.
Low it
because
hurts.
I think you guys were way too low compared to me. Volume is spot on, okay. Okay, does any of you guys know this demo? Or
No.
knew it before we were watching it now? This is an awesome masterpiece by Flow. Completely 1-bit. In colors, at least.
I feel like this would actually, like, the video compression is actually really hurting this one.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know, this is YouTube compression on top of YouTube compression, so it's double compressed.
Yeah.
I think Branch is right, this is 5A. I'm unsure myself if it's 5A or a Haita, it's one of those.
Someone's asking to turn the demo volume down a bit.
I think it's the other way around, it should be a little higher. It would sound a little bit...
That makes sense. That would make sense.
You guys can adjust it on Watch Together, you can hear whatever you want, but the viewers at home have to hear what I'm hearing, so...
Oh yeah. Where is the watch together?
It's that link that I passed you, and it's private, so don't pass it around to...
Oh right.
/me delete
Don't
tweet.
post it on the internet.
What's the internet?
We shared it.
What about BBS?
So come join us. We're live now.
I hung up my
Pick
phone so I
it
can
up
focus
and
on
then
the
everyone just piles in.
Well, you can do that with the Twitch account if you want. With the Twitch URL.
Ah, damn it. Oh, this is the problem when you got an audio workstation. There's multiple fucking sound cards in it, isn't it?
Too much button.
I think there's 3 in this one for some reason. It's so ridiculous. What do I want? No.
Actually, I haven't spammed yet. I should probably spam, saying that we're live in 10 minutes.
Yeah, send me tweet links. So I can RE those twats. Or RT. Whatever one that Russian news station is.
We are live now. Mystery, Demoscene
Why am I hearing the sound
Theater
twice?
9000.
What happened?
Ooh, that was cool auto tune.
Oh, there we go.
T-Pain over here.
Multiple windows open.
Okay, it's up on Twitter. Now I
We
will
got
post it on Twit. Now, boom, headshot. And I'm on IRC as well.
Bam. I gotta be.
Got sound. Yes. That's context is so much better with sound, isn't it?
The wonders of modern technology.
Oh. See, now this looks about the kind of demo that I could possibly pull off.
In rows.
Yeah. Yeah, my mind can't get into 3 dimensions, it's too much.
So welcome to the people also from YouTube. We have at least 2 or 3 of them now. Thank you for joining us. We are 5 minutes away from the greatest show on Earth. Or at least on outer space.
Yeah,
Greatest show on
Yeah,
Planet
boy.
D. I like the lead on this part. Rip.
it's a PC demo.
Yeah, it's a PC demo.
Should definitely be in a Mega demo. In a Mega 500 demo.
Yeah.
By Hoffman. In 64K.
Again. Oh god, really? Last one was hard enough. What happened something?
The last one almost won Best Soundtrack.
Almost,
Oh.
yeah.
But someone had to snub it with a different soundtrack.
I know. How dare they pit me at the post like that? It's ridiculous.
Okay, and this is dope, so you should all know it. For the next 15 minutes. Okay, I guess we can get the show underway. It's
I don't think
4
I
minutes.
managed to the volume, by the way, on the demos now.
Yeah, I reduced it a bit. I had increased it while we were watching that, but I reduced it a bit again now. Should be more leveled up. Should reduce it a little bit more. So welcome everyone to Mystery Demoscene Theater 9000 Season 2 Episode 1.
Yeah.
We had a few months that we didn't do Mystery Demoscene Theater, and we changed the format a little bit. We were trying to watch all the demos of the month, or the best demos of each month, and it kind of didn't work because some months there aren't that many demo parties, and some people just don't come and watch the stream on those months because they don't think it's going to be any fun. And actually those streams were actually the most interesting ones because we were focused more on specific platforms, and we had a lot of interesting talks about the insides of the Spectrum, of the Atari, so lots of interesting things came out of those streams. But in terms of viewers, there weren't as many as it were on the previous editions. So New Year's resolution, I decided to start doing this every other week. So it will be twice a month and with random guests. And today I have with me 3 guests, which are Alkama of TPOLM.
Hello.
Ferris of Youth Uprising and Logicoma and shit tons of other groups.
Yep.
And we have Hoffman of also Logicoma and shitloads of other groups.
Oh yeah.
So
And he's repping today too.
Yeah, definitely repping. Yeah.
yeah, you have a t-shirt.
Oh yeah, we got to rep that.
All I got are these lousy stickers.
Oh my goodness.
Have you been contacted by
That's
the
marketing,
guys?
you know.
Have you been contacted by the guys who did the manga yet to, stop with your IP theft of the Tachikoma?
The thing is, it's upside down. So.
It's completely different. It's a version.
It's an interpretation.
Yeah.
The cover.
So I don't really know what the new format is supposed to be. I guess we're going to be more of a coffee table kind of show, where I'm going to ask of you guys. First, I'm going to ask you guys a little bit of your history, how you got into the demo scene. I guess we can get started with Alkama. So Alkama, what year did you join the demo scene? How were you?
Oh my goodness, I think it was 92. I was really a kid back then. And well, it was after some summer holiday where I met some friends that was doing music, and or maybe it was even with I think it was with neighbor. We used to do some coding challenges with a neighbor back in south of France.
Coding challenges, like the coding party?
No, it was mostly like he had a brother that was part of an Atari group called the Replicants. And basically he tutored us into coding assembly and basic and stuff like that. And so I think with the early days were just trying to understand what ASM was, those strange things, and toying with the Amiga. Because
Amiga!
Actually, exactly, Amiga. We bought this machine, but I had no software, and the only software that I had was an assembly language, because we bought it at an industrial company.
So you had to learn assembly.
Exactly, or get bored and do absolutely nothing. So, I have to admit that I wanted an Atari first, because I wanted the MIDI to do music.
Yeah, Atari was a lot more known for music making than Amiga
it had
back
a MIDI
then.
port.
Yeah, instead of music, I coded, so it was fun too. And yeah, after that, I went to holiday camp where I met Bosco from Syndrome, and so I went back to Ferris and to his home, and I met the other member of the group, like Tenshu, Obi-Wan, and all. And I was part back then, or I joined them for some music, the Syndrome funny department.
Oh, you were part of Syndrome? I didn't know that.
Just the funny department, so the side
okay.
that, and well, I just did music with them. It was super funny, and I think the real big start was probably mostly on the PC scene, where I started releasing for Calodox and TPOLM. So it was in the
So Alkama, what was your first demo?
The first official one, I think it was Back to Black, which is a shitty one. So don't watch it, please.
Okay, I'm loading it right now.
No. And so this is the first one that I coded and released myself. But I did the previous one where but it's
to Black, and I'm not finding it on YouTube, so I think you might be in luck.
Oh my goodness! So you will have
it's
to.
Not on YouTube. Damn.
You will have to find. better, like 98 seconds or. But well,
Okay,
so
I'll cue 98 seconds then.
yeah, I think the
go
first
on.
was with Syndrome. It was probably end part music, and with Bosco we made some 8-channel ending part for one of the Syndrome demos. But yeah, basically that. And after that, yeah, I was mostly active at the end of the 90s on PC, doing some OpenGL and for Calodox and for TPOLM.
Yeah, and I met you through Calodox. I was member of Calodox for I think 1 or 2 years, and well, we were part of the group and we talked a little bit and music. I really respect your music skills.
Oh my goodness!
Really on point, both on production and composing. And most people actually know you as a musician on the demo scene, and not really as a coder. But you are a coder.
But it's pretty fun because I think I like in the 90s I was probably most known for coding than for doing music, because I always ranked last, most hectic ones, not very scenish. Like I joined TPOLM because I love abstract stuff. So it's I think it's a mixed bag, and music. I've never been so successful with music in the demo scene. It was mostly. I had more success by releasing.
I remember you did mostly house techno and some IDM stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. I was really into the Brit scene, like IDM Brit scene, and my roots were mostly Detroit techno or German electronic music, or even old school French electronic music. So. Yeah.
I remember your sets from Lazy Sunday Radio that were mostly house music.
Yes, yeah. This
and
was
techno stuff. So yeah, cool. So this is 98 seconds. Is this the demo you're most proud of doing ever, or is there one that you really feel proud of?
I think I don't really like any of them because what you have to understand is that it's something fun, but everything I released in the demo scene was because people pushed me to do it at the last minute. Because I never wanted. So Salmiakki by TPOLM, like my 64K intro, I assembled one night at Bunsley because Calodox said that they would kick me away from the group if I had something like 800 effects on my hard drive and didn't use it, and I used my keyboard to VJ with it. And basically they said, but you have material to do a production. So I spent the night. There are pictures on Slangpung showing my face at that time. I was pretty exhausted. And I spent the night. I assembled the intro, and it won. So, but yeah, usually I tend to start a lot of things and rarely to finish it, to finish them and polish them. So I end up with a lot of stuff on my hard disk that never gets released. So.
Yeah, I remember that Wensley from Salmiakki. I was also there at that party. And I remember you complaining that this is too bad. I don't learn. And Fred telling you, no, you have a demo. You can't just make it. Just do some synchronization and stuff.
Oh my goodness! But yeah, it worked.
Around like 2005, when I was getting into like the modern PC scene, I watched that demo so many times because I had a shit graphics card that could run it.
Oh.
And I loved it. So just to put that out there.
It was low tech. So, Alkama, what is your favorite demo of all time?
That's a super hard question, but I think I have a special relationship with Alcyon as a group, both for probably maybe 3 production, but mainly the H+. The H+ intro is something that's always like it's dear to my heart.
I'm gonna play that.
That probably of course the Saint and the Chimera, because I think Chimera didn't deserve to be kicked from assembly.
And Saint because it's techno and you love techno.
Saint because it's crazy. But the other one will be from another group, will be Codename Shinador.
Codename Shinador is awesome as well, from Catastrophe.
Yeah, the music is something that like you cannot beat that. And after that, if I can have a third selection, like a ranking. Everything that basically the Blasphemy demo group ever released.
Yeah, Cowboy and what's called Moral Hard Candy.
This, like those people are insane.
They're crazy. I haven't heard anything new from Slide and Biter in ages. I think they're a bit retired from the demo scene, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I think we'll drive them back eventually because we see a lot of old school. Like even me, I had a 10-year break, so I even missed your entrance, Ferris. I think in the demo scene because I think the last thing that I did was 2004. I organized some party, like I co-organized, I helped to organize the state-of-the-art parties.
Oh, you were co-organizer of SOTA? I didn't know that.
Yeah. I was part of the info desk and
Okay.
the main organizer was Crafton from Nomad, French demo group.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I gave a hand. There was a lot of bomb people also, like Skal.
Skal always helped organize. He was also part of the LTP parties. I remember him running the compos there, so he was always on top of all the demo scene parties in France, which is pretty
Of
cool.
course.
And I love his demos as well. It's awesome coder.
It's part of the French gang, the North gang, and I was mostly from the south, so not much party there. So I organized when I finally moved to Paris. I could organize some stuff with them and help them.
But now you have the main party, and I think SOTA was also a bit in the south, wasn't it?
No, Sota was completely north. It was in Lille, so north of
okay.
France. Complete north.
But the
No,
VIP party is in Lyon. That's south. That counts.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that Lyon in south, but yeah, middle of France. No, the real south one, where the most famous one were probably the Gasp back in the days. The 3S also, Sea, Soft and Sun, and yeah, of course the main, and that's the best one. And the fun is that I hope for all my childhood I hope to have a demo party in my hometown. It never happened, and
You
I
have
had
to organize it yourself, That's all
Yeah,
it goes.
Finally the main actually happened 5 meters from where I grew up, like the other side of the wall. So attending the main was pretty cool. I could go to my mom and sleep in my.
Finally, I don't have to go away. I can.
Exactly that, I go to a party. But yeah,
So,
that is.
Ferris, Hoffman, let me ask you: did you guys know of H+ this demo that Alkama loved? Have you seen
Yes.
this before?
Many
No.
times.
No, I've got a really huge gap in my demo scene knowledge because I did a stint when I was younger and then left and tried to pursue DJing and lots of raving and then came back in 2010. So there's about a 10-15 year gap where I've seen hardly anything.
I guess we're jumping to you then, Hoffman. Tell us a little bit. When did you join the demo scene, and what kind of lame stuff did you do back then?
Oh, I showed you the link earlier this week of I think probably the first production that I was ever involved with.
Let me
But,
find it while you talk.
Yeah, go on, put it on. It's really terrible. Particularly the scroll text. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a bit like the whole when home computers were kind of rising up and what have you. Like in your hometown, you'd meet someone that had the same computer as you, so you'd like become friends and stuff. So I was about 10, 11, 12, just hanging out with some other guys, and we all got our Amigas, and was watching demos and what have you, and decided we'll give it a go ourselves. And everyone just kind of picked a task. So I went, I'll do music. Our guy Clive said, I'll do code, and our guy.
So were you
Ian did,
already into making music at the time?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I really like music and stuff, but I'd never really written anything. But obviously, I got a copy of Noise Tracker and started, playing with that. Gotta turn this down.
What year was this?
This one isn't mine, by the way. Mine's like about halfway through. So I just kind of picked that because that's what I was interested in. Probably partially because I'm red green color deficient, so graphics wasn't ever gonna be my thing really. So we ended up joining. We met some people at a computer show that were in Flashing Bytes, and we joined them, and we did a few productions. The kind of standard Amiga kind of stuff.
It's an interesting thing with the UK scene is that there seems to be a gap. On the early 90s it was very active, and then around, 93 or something, it completely disappeared.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Yeah, it just died completely. Yeah, I mean, what was I doing? Well, I kind of jumped around a lot of groups and stuff. There's, you know, if you go and actually look at the right disc mags, you'll see some really embarrassing party reports of the demo party I went to when I was about 14 and got massively drunk. But I'm definitely not telling you where they are. But if you can find them, then you know. There they are. That's a lot of distance.
Don't set a challenge. People will take it.
Don't try. We can dox.
Yeah, we can definitely dox you.
Yeah. So basically, you know, I did kind of that. Yeah, with a few groups. I ended up in DCS and TRSI at one point, and a few others here and there. And then it got to kind of like the late 90s, and I was just massively into DJing and kind of music production. So just kind of left it all behind. And just focused on that for years.
I remember your releases from the Mono 211 label.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And you tried. That was the reason why you created Unstable label now. From what I heard, you tried to restart Mono, asking.
Yeah, true. Getting some like demo scene artists and stuff in. Yeah, you know, that's what happens with the demo scene when you join back in. You know, whatever you plan to do is just, you know, that's out the window. But yeah, Mono was like really good because a lot of us in the Amiga scene at the time were, you know, there was loads of really good musicians in the UK, funnily enough, and like the coders weren't organised, the organisers weren't organised, the graphic artists weren't organised, like, and we were all just producing these tunes. So we just started uploading them to BBSs. It's just like releases. Like, here you go, have a Pro Tracker module, which wasn't really like a common thing back then. And they just kind of went all over the place. But yeah, we were like playing about with
Well, it was really good because at the time there wasn't this whole DRM and rights management stuff, so we just traded tracks, and it's completely open format, and it wasn't really in the mind of anyone that I'm gonna protect my copyright, because you just want to release your stuff and have people hear it.
That's it, because as soon as you get somebody else's module, the first thing you do is go through it and pick any samples that you want.
Yeah. It was just normal.
Oh yeah. This is one of mine now, isn't it? Yeah, this is one of my earliest tunes. I think probably my 5th or 6th tune I've ever written. Yes. Oh,
Cranks that shit. I mean,
I'm gonna turn it a little louder, just for everyone at home to laugh at you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's actually not that bad. This release didn't really age that badly. I mean, the colors are,
that has definitely
80s,
aged. I think.
but
It sounds pretty terrible. But it was 1991, so yeah, I was about 14 years old then. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your hiatus from the demo scene. You were doing DJing stuff and doing.
Yeah. So I kind of like, you know, I got a job, but you know, obviously was kind of pursuing like the DJing thing. So I had a techno residency at a local pub for about 5 years, playing techno and stuff, and got into breakbeat. And that's when I met Paul Era, who was the original label manager of Unstable label that released like my first proper breakbeat tune, and kind of got into that whole scene and you know, played with a lot of quite, you know, big DJs and stuff like the Freestylers and Far Too Loud and all that lot. But you know, it's the thing is that if you like as you know, Jake will tell you, like trying to pursue a music career is it's stupid.
Yeah, it really is.
It's so stupid. So
it's funny because all three of you are musicians here, and I'm a musician as well. I never even tried to do anything remotely, but your sound is a lot more commercial. I mean, you could sell a vinyl with your kind of sounds.
Well,
Any of you three guys.
I guess, yeah, but you know, well back then, yeah, like when I was doing breakbeat, you used to you know, vinyl was still a thing. Like I think the first record I released was like a bootleg of Dave Clark's Red 2. And it sold like 1,000 copies, and I had like 500 copies of it left. It's the weirdest thing where they're like, you know, it's like, we've got 500 copies. It's kind of done its course. Do you want them? I'm like, yeah, of course. Don't throw them away. And then they turn up, and you've got like 500 copies of the same record. You think
for years.
What am I actually gonna do with these? You know,
sell them at your gigs, obviously.
Yeah.
No, I just gave them away. Like, you know.
Attach them in the street. I think we did that with a friend in Montpellier, actually. we used to record unknown music, unlabeled music from us, and just attach them to trees in the city, like help
Music
yourself.
grows on trees.
Oh wow! Nice.
Yeah, and it was crazy. Like it was a friend that is one of the friends I was doing music. He did that constantly, and usually he attached the most crazy track. Like he did some hectic techno. He called that mathematical techno, and it puts a lot of records in the streets, and it was pretty cool.
Oh,
Pretty-
wow.
Free the music.
Yeah, and we checked it where if they disappeared, and actually yes, it happened. You know, so.
That's so cyberpunk.
Yeah, but it's a cool idea, you know. If you want to share, just really share something that you did and just attach it in the street and say, okay, help yourself. It's
Yeah, that's a
Hack
nice
the
idea.
planet.
So I think they call it a dead drop when you put a USB stuck somewhere and you can just
Yeah.
go there, upload stuff, and then go away, and the USB is still there, so anyone can go there and copy the stuff.
excellent.
Yeah, surely no one puts like a random USB stick in their computer anymore, do they?
Yeah, if people do it. And nowadays you
Well,
don't get... I remember,
But
like, in the late
you
haven't
90s,
lived,
whenever
man.
you had a
Yeah,
USB stick, you would have pop-ups of antivirus popping all over your... All of them are relatively safe. Because everyone is so focused on the internet stuff that no one actually does virus for USBs anymore. Which is
Not
funny.
necessarily the NSA, I guess.
So Hoffman, what is the demo that you're most proud of that you did?
The demo I'm most proud of is probably Everyway. I think it's pretty. You know, I poured like a solid month into that, and a lot of it was just happy accidents, just mucking about with the Rose script engine. Like I had an idea of what I wanted to do, because you can, you know, send little procedures to draw boxes in circles and stuff, and I'd set out to do something and then end up with something else and go, well, actually that looks a lot cooler than what I had in my mind, so I'll keep that.
It's so
But-
satisfying to watch, by the way.
Cheers,
And-
man, cheers.
Especially the sync on it, so on.
Yeah,
point.
it's crazy cool.
With
It's
the
crazy.
every way part.
And you know, back in the days with Calodox, we used to say that you need one sync per audio event. You know, and that was back in the days the success. And this one is so filled with synchros, it's crazy.
That's the problem, isn't it, when you get a musician with a scripted language that could work to a frame? So, yeah.
So
Yeah,
how much
it was-
time did you actually spend on Everyway?
I would say, well, I started at I think it was about a month before the party, and this first experiment was just to kind of understand the Rose engine and how it worked. And it's really easy because there's only about 4 or 5 commands, so there's not much you can do with it. And then I think within that month, I think about a week in, I decided, you know, if I want the tune to sound good, I'll use up the rest of the bytes, aim for 64K, because the Rose engine itself, the visuals on its own, probably only takes about 4K, 5K at best, and the rest of it is all just samples and music data. So
That's what you get when you use a Blueberry tool.
yeah.
It's basically free.
Yeah, so yeah, it took about a month. So, you know, as I'm, you know, pretty colorblind, I got Savannah to like check over a lot of the colors and help me pick like bits and pieces out. Because I do something and then show her it. She's like, "What the hell is that?" I mean, that is.
What's wrong with you? Can't you
What's
pick
wrong
normal
with your
colors?
Oh, I can just
I'm
hear
like,
her
"Oh,
saying that
I'm
too.
I'm sorry. It looks
You know, just
alright in
something
my
that makes
mind."
sense, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Holding back tears.
Yeah, see, it was about a month. I think all the content was done about 3 or 4 days before the party, and I was just dealing with like a few bugs in the Rose engine and in the music engine and stuff. But yeah, that was about a month. And I don't know. I really want to do another one, but I think I don't know if I could use the Rose engine again because I've rinsed most of the stuff that it does already. So I don't know. I probably need to actually just take the plunge and make a system, but hopefully not too complicated.
Have
Small
you-
note on that. Like those last few days. So Sundown last year was the same weekend as Solskogen, and Blueberry had come to Solskogen a day early to get cheaper flights, so he stayed at my place. And he was sending you, or you were sending him like the bug builds of this, and we were watching it, and it was just like, it was so cool to see the last parts come together, because actually quite a bit of like the really satisfying syncs came in pretty late, I think.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Cool.
Have you tried any more PC demo making tool?
I had a little go with was it Tool.io? Yeah, the still system, and I was quite taken aback. I only really spent like half an hour with it, and within that half an hour, I just suddenly had like, a torus repeated and spun around. The thing is that I could probably get the bass and sync and kind of concept started, but like that nice graphical polish obviously needs the understanding of that I don't have. Stuff. So
understanding of graphics.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I understand what a shader does, but I can't write one. I think I got a
Just follow Ferris. He does a stream about it.
So, but I mean, to be fair, I mean, at the moment, I'm mainly focused on the Wavesaber synth anyway. So, which is perfect for me because I understand all of that already. So it's just kind of learning bits and pieces. I haven't done any C++ before, so.
But you do program stuff. I heard you doing some audio stuff recently.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. It's with I've done some Amiga stuff as well, like sample generation, because you can't do anything real time on the Amiga with audio. No. But yeah, so doing a lot of Wavesaber stuff. So I added a few devices to the system, and I've just built the renoise converter for Wavesaber, so you can use Wavesaber with renoise. So and it looks like it's working at the minute. So.
Oh my god.
It's really cool.
Oh yeah, this reminds me of something that I wanted to talk about, as in like news of the demo scene. Cyphers released this Pro Tracker configuration thing, and Hoffman, you might know better what this is than I do. Can you explain to our viewers what it is?
Oh, that's so the Windows port of Pro Tracker takes Pro Tracker configuration files from the original Amiga version of Pro Tracker. So, but it's like a weird binary format. So you could like completely customize the interface with different colors and different colors on the VU meters and all this kind of stuff. So he's just written like a really nice, friendly interface for like customizing the whole color and stuff like that. So you can do all that really easily and then just port it straight into your Windows version of Pro Tracker.
Okay. Cool.
And he's also done some like a new Amiga sample converter. Which is really good. You can just drag and drop samples, you get a display of it, and you should check it. I mean, if you've got the time to plow into writing a Pro Tracker tune, then yeah, go and use those tools.
I think actually Ron was looking for a tool like that, no?
But it's not supposed to be easy.
I know, he's made it. That was the first post on his post. I was like, what are you doing? This is supposed to be hard.
Now everyone will be making Amiga music.
I know. Yeah.
Okay, so Hoffman, a demo that you really love.
Well, there's no competition. The best demo ever created is Square by Still.
Okay.
Oh, so good.
Let's look at that one then.
Yeah.
Square by Still.
Agreed. Yeah, definitely.
Like, I mean, there's a lot of demos that I've really loved since I've seen this, but this still just, I mean, there's a lot. I've got a lot invested in this emotionally, just from crazy nights, late, 4 or 5 a.m. with friends round, and then I show them this. This is like my outreach production. When I want to show people what the demo scene's about, I show them this, and they're like, "Wow!"
At the end of the 90s, I used to show the other Square demo from Pulse.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That one was fucking awesome as well.
It was cool, yeah.
I think so. So this was released at the same weekend that Luguber and I were at Function, and they like played it over the big screen and stuff. And I remember Luguber being really mad about the title.
It's really good, and the soundtrack especially. Really
Oh
good.
yes, the track is
right. I
crazy.
mean,
It makes it for me.
yeah.
It's one of the rare ones that I actually have it on my Nvidia Shield to watch it on TV, sometimes. just blast everything, like annoy my neighbor, and
It's important.
So deep.
yeah. And the group still is not disappointing either. Like all the other production are pretty cool too, like.
It's a Drumhead, isn't it? Oh, no, sorry, Brighton, the Stars.
Right, bastard. Bastard, yeah.
It's
Best album.
DQ on Poet, but his artistic name for the music industry is Brighton Bastard or Righton Bastard.
Yeah. Massively talented.
So Ferris, now it's your turn. When did you get started on the demo scene?
So I got started because I was really kind of young when I started programming, like 8 or 9, and I remember picking up this language called Blitz Basic that I learned about in a book called Game Programming for Teens.
That title. Oh
And
my
it was, but it was actually awesome because it was like it's a simple basic dialect, and it had like a DirectX 7 based 2D library and audio library, so it was just super bare bones. But like I could make games with it, and I could draw images and move stuff around. And I was posting a lot of these really terrible games, and you cannot find them anymore. Like don't even try, but you can't find them. Because they went down with this old forum that went down at some point. But I was posting stuff on that forum, and I found I was looking at the categories at one point, and they were like games, utilities, demos, and I was like, what is demos? Is that like demos of like commercial games or whatever? And so I went in there, and then there was this so Blitz Basic had this 2D variant, a plus variant which had like GUI stuff, and then a 3D variant which had like hardware accelerated 3D. And what was amazing was I saw this demo called No 3D by Dark Bid Factory, and it was doing 3D rendering in the 2D variant of Blitz Basic, and I was like, whoa!
That's awesome because we used to make fun of Dark Bit for doing demos for Blitz Basic, but apparently it worked to bring new people to the demo scene.
So that's what.
So I did from 2004 to 2005 or 6. I was doing old Amiga style demos in Blitz Basic, not knowing that it was like old Amiga style, just like that's the demo scene that I knew, and so I was like trying to be competitive in that scene and like bring new effects into that. And that was really fun, and I was really competitive in there, and that was really cool, and like ended up joining Dark Bit Factory too, so that was kind of funny. Also got hooked up with the group Gravity at that time. And then at one point I just discovered Poet. I think it was actually via the was it the Evoke intro that who was it? Cheops? Equinox?
There was the one with the playground.
Yeah,
with
that
the
one.
train and stuff.
That's the one, Kings of the Playground. I saw that popped up on the Dark Bit Factory forum, and that linked to Poet, and then I discovered like all this other amazing stuff. So in early 2006,
and how old were you at the time?
At that point, I would have been 13 or 14.
Oh my goodness!
And so I put out a thing. I did this little 64-byte intro that just sucked, and I put that out and was like, "Hey, I'm starting a group. If you're young, join my group." And that was kind of cool.
That was Youth Uprising.
That was Youth Uprising, and that started that early. And then I got hooked up with the Finnish Waffle and Decipher, and what was the guy's name? He was in Quite for a while. Ized. So I got hooked up with those guys for a while, and then a couple
I
other
didn't know Ized was in Youth Uprising.
Yeah, he was in those early years, like around 2006, 2007, and then in 2008, there's a bunch of like Youth Uprising and Quite demos as he kind of moved over to Quite. Because I mean, Quite's a Russian group, and I think he met people that were more in his thing. And also, like the early days of Youth Uprising, kind of behind the scenes, we were really dysfunctional. Like, I mean, we were just idiot teenagers.
Didn't you have this rule where when you went higher than 18, you would have to leave the group? I remember something like that.
I remember thinking about that.
Oh my goodness!
And I think the original website like had that, but that was never really an official thing. That's
because you're on age, so.
Yeah.
You should have had that as like a reoccurring theme, and then it would just be like a little outreach group of like gnarly teenagers coming into the scene.
So this demo right there, that tiny 256-byte intro there, first of all, it's a ripoff of a 3SC intro, but don't tell anyone. I wrote that so I prototyped it in Blitz Basic and then wrote it in assembler, and it must have been 14 or 15 when I did that.
Okay.
But yeah, so eventually I moved to Free Basic and then some other languages, and then now I was releasing under Youth Uprising until about 2014 or 2015 even, and then wanted to move to other groups after that. Just kind of, I actually wanted to do my own thing and started Helix and that other stuff, but then Hoffman had other plan.
what demos are you most proud of, or what demo from you are you most proud of doing?
Watch those places you walk in mind.
It has to be Engage. Honestly, like
I
I almost feel lame picking the most recent, but it is kind of the best collaborative effort that I've ever had as being in a part of a group, and I think that really speaks volumes on how I felt working on it and how I feel about it. So
Okay, let's play it.
Engage.
Your live stream, taking it apart, was also quite useful. I really enjoyed taking a look of it and how each part works connected. And
Cool, thanks.
so thanks,
I did not
thanks
mean
for
that
making
to be
that
4
available.
hours, but,
And
no worries.
you guys actually got, was it second place with this?
We got third.
Third place. And for me, it was the party winner, to tell you the
Well,
truth.
thank you.
This
I-
was,
Like,
but
is
I
anyone
really found
in the
strange
compo
that you
like-
only got third, but well.
Well, the compo is just insane. So
Yeah, the
Compo
combo was
is
really
really
good. One
I
of the
couldn't-
best 64K combos we've been
Crazy.
we had recently on the last, I don't know, 2 years that I can think of, or at least more than that. I don't remember a 64K combo with 5 awesome productions in like ages. Last
Even
year we had 2 great productions, maybe 3, 4. I don't remember the competition that Mercury and Conspiracy had. But before then, it's been like somewhat of a drought, where you haven't been having so many 64Ks. It kind of died when Farlight stopped doing 64Ks.
So, I actually always wanted to do 64Ks, like coming into scene, discovering all that stuff, like because that was around when like Chaos Theory was new, and like just mind was being blown by that stuff. A little bit after like the Power Bash stuff, but kind of in that era. And I always wanted to do that, but it turned out that it took a lot of fucking work. So for years I did just some crappy demos. I did a couple 4Ks for a while. Then I kind of stopped doing as much scene stuff, at least as much serious stuff, because I actually tried to pursue music for a while. If you go on like Spotify, you can find some EPs and stuff.
what
and-
was your artistic name?
It's still Ferris. If you
Ferris?
search
Okay.
Ferris on there, so I try to use that name for both, and I'm still, yeah. So try to do that. That didn't go very well, but I mean, it went okay, just like not well enough.
You were expecting to do a world tour, and that didn't quite happen.
Expected to do a tour at least, you know what I mean? Like, but no, I just, yeah, a little bit late on that train, and then, but then sort of came back, and when I saw like Off-Screen Colonies and a couple of those other intros, I'm like, you know what, I really want to nail this time, and so I've been spending the last couple of years on trying to do that.
So what was your idea in doing, like, I've seen the streams where you talk about your engine, it's all made using Rust, and
Yep.
you do all these opcodes to do the OpenGL chaining of doing the calls. Where
Yep.
was your idea for that? Can you tell us a little
So
bit
we-
about that?
So I had started, I wanted to do a proper tool, because I always have a habit of doing intros in like 2 days, and
Don't
like Hoffman
we
will
all?
tell you, I don't sleep, and it sucks.
I am a bit scared of reading the reports from LJ of how he's been doing all
Right.
his 4Ks recently. It's always
Yeah.
like, I haven't slept for 3 days, and then I did this, and then I lost everything, and I spent another day still without sleeping, redoing everything again. Like, okay,
Yeah.
that's not healthy, man. You need to be careful with that.
Yeah, but like, it's not up to you. Like when you're in the moment, you know what I mean? Like they're not, you know, like yeah. You can tell someone to stop sleeping, but it's not up to them. You know what I mean?
Obsession.
Yeah, you hit that point, and it's like it's been 2 months working on this, and you can't put it down.
Yeah, you need to
It
finish
does suck, and it's terrible. But
So what's your favorite demo of all time?
it's probably a tie between a couple things. If I had to pick one, though, it'd probably be Ether by MFX.
Okay, let's watch that one.
Maybe the Ballet Dancer, but I'd rather play Ether.
Play both. Double drop that.
Also, Onwards by Traction. That was the other one that was tied.
Yeah, Onwards by Faction is pretty good as well.
'Cause these demos were really popular around when I entered the scene, and they still just are very special to me. Also, a Preacher. I don't know if he meant to do that on purpose, but I kind of saw him as like a mentor, and I like emailed him a lot in the early days, and kind of yeah.
He always
learned
been
lot
a very helpful person.
Yeah, super. He's adorable.
I did a remix demo with one of his source codes once, and I already met him. I already knew him before then. We were in the same disc mag together, and I was an editor, and he submitted papers, and we talked about stuff and what to do next for the mag. And he's always been an extremely helpful person. And then he suddenly kind of disappeared, and then we realized why, because he was focusing on doing video games all the time and just burned out from doing video games.
Yeah.
So I think now he's a bit more available to do Demoscene stuff, but he's completely changed his point. He does demos more as a piece of poetry, which I particularly love. So less focused on the technology and more focused on transmitting a specific message, let's call it that.
Yeah, it's really cool.
But you were saying about your relationship with Preacher?
Oh, that was it. Like just in the early days, I remember emailing him a lot because I really liked his sort of minimalist style, and I thought that was really cool. So yeah, he was just really helpful at the time. Sent me a lot of code and stuff, and just gave me a lot of tips.
Okay, let's think about other stuff that we can talk about. What parties are you guys visiting next? Who's packing for Outline?
Sadly not
no
Outline
one
from
is
here.
going to Outline from here, come on.
It's crazy. It's not so far, but where?
Oh, it's all right for you guys in mainland Europe, isn't it,
So what's your next party?
My next party is
Nova?
that is Nova, actually, in it will probably be finished in a month from now. I think it's 23rd, 22nd. I should have really known these dates, considering I'm part kind of the organisation.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's the thing is, I put it in my Google Calendar. I know it's 23rd to 25th.
Yeah, just
So,
put it on
we'd
Google
be-
Calendar and then forget about
Yeah,
it.
there we go. It's there.
It will send you a reminder when you need to pack shit.
Yeah.
1 hour before, link.
Yeah.
Oh, I can still do a track for it. No problem.
That's when he'll start the exit music entry.
Yeah, probably about. No, the thing is, that's the thing with Wave Saver. I can get away with it now. Like, I can get about a week if I just put a bit of effort in. Like, it just all comes out. The tools are so good. So yeah, Nova. Obviously, because I've got to say stuff on a microphone that weekend, and organise some acts and stuff. And then after that, probably Evoke. When I say probably Evoke, I mean I've already bought the plane tickets.
I
so
already
I'm
bought my
definitely
plane
going.
tickets to Evoke as well. So,
I think all of us will be at Evoke.
Oh, yeah, we'll all be at Evoke. But it's 20s, so
Yeah,
we
it's
have to
20s.
prepare some.
I picked a good year to go for my first year then. So
okay, so you only been once to Evoke. How many Evokes have you guys had in
I've
your
been there
pockets? You've been there once? What about you, Alkama?
I think it was 4 or 5.
Okay, so I might be tied with you. I remember at least going 3, maybe 4.
I think since 2013 and maybe one before.
Oh, I've been
ago.
there way before you then. I was there in 2000,
Oh,
2002, probably 2001, and then again in 2005. So at least 4 Evokes I have.
Oh. I attend mostly it's after my comeback to the scene, so mostly after 2008 or 2009.
Yeah, it's a
So,
really cool party. Oh well, I don't know the new location, so I don't know how the new one, but it used to be a great party. And knowing the organizers, I'm pretty sure that's
It's always
is it the same place it was last year? I mean, I've
yeah,
never been,
always,
so-
yeah,
it is.
it's perfect. Yeah, the
Alright.
wall. You can climb the wall if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I'm definitely not doing. I'm scared of heights. I'm definitely not doing that.
but they have a lot of a cool zone, a bar, and it's really relaxed. Organizers are just fantastic, and like at Revision, you have some ambience outside too, and good weather. So really, Evoke is like a second Revision ambience-wise, except you have really the time to meet everyone and to talk to everyone, which is something that at Revision you're always frustrated because you see crazy
too
cool
many people.
Yeah, and you cannot connect to them, and sometimes you go back from 1 year and learn that someone was there and you really wished you could have a beer or something. So Evoke, you can meet everyone and have a good talk. And
I'm having a very big problem, which is I haven't really made any groundwork on my production for Evoke yet. I made like I'm gathering the whole of Scene PT to go to Evoke, and each one is working on a demo. And Evil is doing a 4K, Creamax is doing trying to do a demo, Zero Shift is trying to do a demo. We're all doing something, and I have my own project to do a 64K, and I have no music, and I have one effect which is completely bugged for like 2 weeks now. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm getting everyone involved, and I'm lagging behind on my own shit. So this is not looking very good so far. I really have to get my shit together. But yeah, I'm very looking forward to Evoke.
It's crazy cool. You know, like we have this compo also. At Evoke, what we tend to do is to have some funny jokes, like insiders joke. Like for the music competition, the streaming competition, the last 2 years, we had a challenge, Luguber and I. So we chose a theme and try to compete on that. So first year was doing a techno one, and he won. Second year was doing a breakbeat or a jungle track, and he won again. And this year,
I feel like these are pretty biased categories.
But this year, you know, the team will be to make something from the 80s, like an unknown show from the 80s, and not use our names, you know, like, and trying to tell a story from the 80s from a show that never been broadcasted. And here we have
That's the most specific challenge I've ever heard.
I'm gonna note that down, and I'm gonna try to participate on that. And you have to use fake aliases, right?
Yeah, you have to use fake aliases. You have to tell a story through the stuff. And it's Ronnie that actually joined the challenge. So it's 3 of us now, and maybe more. I gave the challenge. But
okay, I'm gonna try to participate.
If we override, like the bad thing is that we probably won't all pass the pre-selection if we all do.
We can have an unofficial compo outside with a boombox and just play our tracks.
Or everyone just tags it with.
That's my story.
Or everyone just tags it with "Come on, organisers, you know what you need to do." Yeah.
By the way, Wobble just popped into the chat.
Hello, Wobble. Nice work with the Engage demo. I mean, do you guys want to go to bed already? I wanted to talk a little bit more, but we need a topic. Okay, the worst demo that you ever seen.
I actually have a really good worst one that just popped up the other day. Let me find this. It's like a really bad one that I just love.
It's like so bad that turns around and starts becoming good?
Well, I don't think it's actually bad, but it's like, I know it's bad, but I like it. Let me find it.
Oh, I have another cliche question. What is your advice to someone starting on the demo scene?
Don't. No, I'm joking.
The same thing popped in my mind. I'm like, I don't want to say that.
No.
Don't save yourself.
The elephant in the room, isn't it? You know.
I think we were pretty like, at least for our era, like PS, we were pretty lucky to have machines that were actually pretty much understandable, with limits, clear limits, but also easy to understand, easy to toy with everything mapped correctly. And nowadays the entry point is probably hard. The second sad thing is that what I find, like the early demo scene, like I know Ferris joined when he was a teenager. Back, like nowadays it's rare, we don't see a lot of them. But back in our days, we were all kids. Like if you look at pictures from the early demo parties, we were just like a bunch of kids. And nowadays, not sure he will send someone as young as us to a demo party. You know? When you see, like, I went to party at 12 and did hundreds of kilometers like that. You know, it's pretty crazy. Nowadays, probably you wouldn't do that again. But well, I think that we find the same kind of spirit in game jams, no?
But I would say I haven't attended many game jams, but I think the age in game jams is also higher than it is. It's the same as in the demo scene. I mean, it's no longer teenagers, it's like people in their 20s, 30s.
But yeah, technologically, the entry point, like, it was, for us, it was cool. We had what I call eye candy. like you have instant gratification. You
Yeah.
coded something, you had something on the screen. It was fun. It was good enough, and
There are some
Nowadays
tools that
it's
you can
hard.
still use to do that. I mean, if you
Of
if
course.
you code in processing, you get stuff immediately on the screen. If you use tools like Tool.io, you can get stuff immediately on screen, and then you have to figure out how to turn that into, you know, native executables, how to do
Yeah, but to
proper
master
shading,
that,
3D.
it takes some knowledge to leverage that. Like even Unity, for us, it looks simple. It looks easy to use. Problem is that I think the first step there are a lot of first step, and you have to understand a lot of things to try to do. Same for processing. It's not so easy.
Yeah,
So-
that's what I really like about the Quite and 2 Rex stuff. Like, a lot of people get on them about, oh, you use Unreal, whatever. And it's like, that really doesn't help that much, you guys.
No. It's basically it's startup code. And back in our days, we were criticized for the same reason by using frameworks. You know,
Yeah.
for some of the early CaloDoc stuff, I just used. It was mostly opening the screen and loading a texture, and the rest was coded by yourself. But even then, back then, just using libraries like that was like, oh, you use the framework, or it was
Yeah,
crazy.
Can't you do your own code?
Yeah, well, we can, but maybe focus on the content, you know, or have fun with content.
I found
Yeah.
that intro, by the way.
Okay, so just
Oh
load
my
it.
goodness.
Hold on.
Right now we're just hearing numbers. And Smash
why
has
you
been
make me
away from the
happy.
demo scene for a while. I mean, I guess he's focused
Here we go.
doing the visuals for Eurovision.
Oh, I love a bit of Eurovision.
Oh, we
It's
won?
fabulous.
Portugal won? Like, in ages
yeah,
we
yeah.
hadn't fucking
Yeah.
won, so...
Yeah.
Thank you, Smash, for putting better visuals for our song. That really helped us do the extra mile.
Was it doing it again this year?
Yeah, I think they were in charge of the visuals there,
Okay,
from what I heard.
that's cool.
Oh, Faye is asking a very interesting question on the chat. What would make you quit the demo scene?
I know.
Okay, so answer.
I think if people took themselves too seriously and started to diss a lot, the ambience is what brought me back probably, because really it even if in the early days there were a lot of fights, like group fights and all, like at least in challenges and trying to be the best and cocky stuff, and it tamed a lot. And once you tasted that, like actual people care for each other and all, it's hard to lose it because it's rare to find so many people sharing the same kind of passion, not exactly the same, but at least the same kind of passion, and being creative too. You know, there are not a lot of ways to express yourself, and this one is I think it's a pretty good one. So. Losing that is hard. Like when you go back to real life and just doing your job and nothing else.
Real life sucks.
No, but this is real life too. You know, that's one of the cool part also is that it looks like something very geeky, but from the roots, it's about assembling people doing something together. Like things that I never liked a lot in Demoscene was doing stuff all alone. Because the group is important, like having people contribute ideas and.
Yeah, I had the same thing. Actually, I quit the demo scene multiple times because I was frustrated with always working alone because I could never find someone to share the same vision as me. Because it's very hard where you have your own idea of how you want to do things. You don't want to be pushing other people to just do your own thing. And at the same time, you don't want to spend all your time working on a hobby doing something that you are not interested on, so you completely understand why people wouldn't be interested in doing the demo that you envision if they don't share that vision. And it's really hard to find... I managed to find a few people that share my idea and help me out here and there, but overall it's always been mostly me driving the focus of what I want to do. And it felt rather lonely a lot of the times, and it was like, okay, why am I doing another demo if it's just me? You know, I already know what I can do. There's no real challenge. So at that point, it felt more interesting to do like collaborations with other people, even if it's just remixing tracks from each other or giving music and someone else does the visuals for your stuff. And that was what brought me back a little bit. Mostly the stuff that visualized it out of my music, because he really had a different way to look at my kind of sounds, and it made things more interesting again. I guess that's
you see,
what
that's the
kind
point.
of got
Maybe
me
you
on the
shouldn't
Demoscene.
want to do something exactly. Maybe you should accept that people will contribute in different ways, and that the result would be fun. Like I think that when you have too much things too precise in mind, you never reach your goal unless you're a genius and you know exactly what you want to do. It's the accidents. Like I don't know if you agree, but most of the best effects that you ever did are usually when you messed something.
I agree.
And you know that satisfaction when you mess yourself, it's cool. But when you're surprised by someone else, it's even better. So that's what I mean by the crew and not doing something all alone and having the contribution. So maybe we should just let go and.
But it's hard to like get a 2D artist or even a 3D artist, a modeler, to if they don't share your vision, why would they be interested in doing demos?
It's also
you
like
know?
hard to find a group of people that you really gel with, I think.
Yeah.
Like I know for me personally, like the difference between how happy I was with the demo scene, how active I was, and how engaged I was in Youth Uprising versus in Logic Coma, it's a night-and-day difference.
Massively, yeah.
So, like, it's, Like we have this kind of group dynamic where we just throw a ton of ideas into the pot, and then like some stuff kind of gets developed and some stuff doesn't. And it's just like you kind of have that trust between people of like, if I put this out there, we're either going to make it something or it doesn't click, and that's it. And on to the next thing, and there's just put everything into the pot and see what sticks. It's just been really cool.
Yeah, with Cosmoplossy we did that as well, and it worked really well. We threw out there what we've been doing, and if someone has an idea of how to take that the next step, then we pick up on that. If no one has, then well, we just we have more drawings, we have more music, we have more effects, and eventually something will click.
So, somehow cats don't do dogs, and your friends they tend to look a bit like us. Like when we pick stuff and like the first demo that you picked, it was the first one I had on my list. I know that we definitely at least have some taste in common, and it doesn't happen by accident. And the fun thing is that when you join a group, like at least for the group I joined, like TPOLM and Calodox, it was just because we shared so many beers and chatted so much at parties that at one point they said you have to join, and I said well, why not? And
that's what happened with me as well.
Not even wanting to join, it's about the fact that yes, you're already there, because it's not even a question if you're in or not, because basically
you just are part of the group. That's it.
So it happens like that. TPOLM, I think it was exactly the same, like sharing so many same kind of taste and being together at a party constantly. Somehow it's okay, it clicks. Of course it clicks. So why not be part of the group? It's not just selecting a good technical person or and trying to assemble. It's mostly like friendship. So it's always the same for Logicom, and you cannot work with someone. Of course, even if you respect someone a lot, I'm not sure that you can do great stuff if they are not a part of friendship in the mix, in the sauce.
It's funny because like Hoffman and I met in person like 4 times, and before that, he and I were doing music together. So it's like sometimes you just click with people like creatively too. And that's kind of about that for me at least. Yeah.
And you can have very different person, like someone that you don't share the same taste, but if you click as a human relationship, it will drive good things. You can still collaborate. And sometimes people that actually have exactly the same taste, but are not on the same level, I'd say humanly or friendly, like don't share the same interest and stuff. It's always hard.
Different kind of people have like different. Oh, sorry. I'll let Hoffman talk.
I was just gonna say it's like it's quite comforting to have within that group to know that you can jam something in as an idea and have the confidence to know that even if it gets shot down, that everyone's cool with that. It doesn't really matter. We're all just it's really funny with the Engage soundtrack how much stuff. If you look through the older versions of it, there's so much that we prototyped and put and then just cut and then just and then cut and then what was left was what we ended up with, but everyone was happy with it.
That's important, interaction. It comes from interaction. If nobody has an idea, and also not to be too disappointed when people say I don't like this,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah.
You need the trust, and you need to like let's go. Basically, sometimes okay, it won't be exactly what you want, but the end result is usually something you will cherish. And sometimes you don't even like something. Give it a few years and come back to it, and you will say at least it has some nostalgia and
Keep everything.
And if you ruin that, like you can have a fantastic production. If you ruin the moment, you will never like it. And like I prefer to have a good memories with a production, with a shitty production, than to have awful memories with an excellent one. You know.
Okay, so I asked the chat for some questions, and people have been firing a few ones. First question: why were the graphics so bad in the 5K run in this year's revision?
That's my mate Andy from work. He texts me on the Saturday morning because he'd been watching like the awards and stuff. He's not a demo scene, he doesn't come to the parties and stuff. And he texted me on a Saturday morning and said, "Oh, I watched some stuff yesterday, and I watched a 5K run this morning. That was rubbish." I was like, "Yeah, graphics are terrible, aren't they?"
Like
We are waiting for IQ to return. If you check IQ's procedural graphics entries from a few years back, they're out of this fucking world.
Yeah.
They're insane. And I'm trying to get IQ back into the demo scene. He's been doing this VR stuff and Pixar stuff, and I want him to do releases and stuff and come to a demo party again, because he's really like cutting edge of rendering. He was already in cutting edge of rendering techniques and stuff when he was doing stuff on the demo scene. Now he's even more ahead, and I think it would really raise the bar of what we can do. And I also love he does some videos on his YouTube channel where he shows how things are done using mathematic formulas and shader toy and that kind of stuff. Excellent stuff. I recommend everyone to check it out if you're into coding graphics. Next question. What's something you have never seen in the demo scene that you would like to see done?
Oh my goodness! I go deep to the.
I could tell you that, but then you would run the. I would ruin the idea for my next demo.
That's where I'm at.
I really want to see a proper demo that utilizes stereoscopic 3D, because it's like, I mean, have there?
Yeah.
I'm showing my gap now. That's the problem.
There was this party called Simulatio, even a couple of years, even called Simulatio 3D. Well, he's ready.
I think the boy's making a statement.
Yeah, Ferris is ready for the call. There was a party in Finland called Simulatio where they had a specific 3D compo. It was using anaglyphic 3D, but it was still focused on 3D. So, and Revision did have a compo
the red green
for.
one, is it?
And Revision did have a compo for Oculus Rift Productions.
Oh, I see.
At least a couple years ago, I think. And it was mostly like people redoing their old demos with 3D immersion and full Earths thing. But demos have been made. What about you, Ferris, Alkama? What is the thing that you have not seen on the demo scene that you would like to see?
Ferris, go.
I'm definitely gonna do a Virtual Boy demo at some point.
Gonna do a what?
A what?
Virtual Boy demo at some point.
Oh,
a Game Boy.
Excellent.
Virtual Boy.
Of course, we saw that coming, you know.
It's in the backlog that I have to do.
Somehow we had no doubt.
Yeah, some hint somewhere.
What about you, Alkama?
Something that has never been done. I don't know. I think, like, I definitely want more demos, like the latest Steel demos with a lot of like shapes, like Hoffman. I think you did the music of those ones. Like, I always loved. I'm a big fan of mathematical arts. I love random art, abstract stuff, and or just plain math. Like, there is this artist on the web called Simon C. Page that does a lot of arts using math. And
I'm just queuing up demos, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So I just want more of those abstract ones. Probably not too much too much
Here you
content.
can see a girl made entirely with math.
Why not?
Yeah.
Okay, so more questions. Let me take a look. Punctured asks, with all these musicians lined up, I'd like to know, how do you get around when cooperating on a track? Do you switch back and forth? Do you do one part and then the other person does another part? Or how?
Yes.
Yeah, all of the above.
Yeah, I think Google Drive and Dropbox have basically revolutionised how that shit works these days. Quite simply, because you just leave your project folder. I mean, it's obviously a lot simpler when you're dealing with, a fixed system in like a 64K synth or whatever, because you can't load it with shed loads of media. You're both using the same software, so you just bounce it around. And yeah, it's I haven't done a lot of it. I have worked with other people in the studio where we've just written a track together for a weekend.
Yeah, but you're both on the same location.
That's the
Both
best.
on the same equipment. Yeah, so there's you're not doing it for a demo production. You're just like writing it to try and get a fat 12-inch out. Yeah, it's like you learn a lot when you work with other people, because they'll do stuff, especially when you're working like side to side with them, because they're like, oh, I'll just do this, and like, what? Why are you doing that? It's like,
Yeah,
oh, well,
I learned a
read this
lot
thing.
that way.
Oof.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
many cheeky Nandos are in a Fat 12?
I think 6.842. Yeah.
Good.
So what about your collaboration process, Ferris?
No, it's the same, because you're talking to the guy I collaborate with a lot, right? so like I used to have a really hard time collaborating with people, because I was always too much of a control freak, and I like really try to watch myself on that shit, because it's really toxic, I think. But every time I collaborate with Hoffman, it's just super chill. Like, it's the same thing about just like throwing stuff in and seeing what happens. Like, we've worked together on like 5 tracks or something now, and there's like 2 times where we just was like had to even talk about anything. Where it's like, this doesn't work, or we need to change this, like very few times. And like with Wobble, he and I, because he lives like 5 minutes away from me, so we collaborated a lot on stuff, and even on the commercial stuff we collaborated a bit. Which also is kind of a funny connection with Far Too Loud that Hoffman mentioned earlier, but that's something else. But like he and I, he was like the first person I really had that kind of chemistry with, collaborating, and where I kind of learned to like lighten up like that. And then with Hoffman, it was just so chill. Like, didn't even know the guy. I was like, oh, let's see how this goes. So it was just kind of adopting those, and it's kind of funny too, because now they kind of have that chemistry too. So it's like, again, kind of feeding into that chemistry is really important.
What about you,
It's
Alkama?
the same stuff though, just passing back and forth.
I know you had a lot of collaboration with your friend Mo, so I guess
Yeah,
you're used
Mo.
to collaborating.
Yeah, and the fun is that I can say it no, but basically Mo is a recognized artist, because he's back in the days after a lot of collaboration, he joined F Communication, so the label of Laurent Garnier, Mr. Oiseau, and all. And like back then we couldn't use his name because his name was licensed, basically. So we had to keep it secret. But yeah, I think this was the best collaboration, and this one was basically we lived one apartment across the street. So I just had to cross the street and go in his studio and do music together. And it was just like, it flowed all alone. Most of those tracks back then were not even sequenced. It's basically toying with the synths and
Live jam?
playing record. And
Cool.
I have to admit that most of the stuff that I still do myself is just press play. Usually I do sequence, but just blocks, and I then dump what I play to my friends.
The
So what is
problem,
on my
the problem
SoundCloud
when
is,
you don't sequence is then you want to re-record the track and you don't know what the hell you used.
That's my problem, and actually what I do is some of my releases, I don't even touch them. I just change the title from early preview to final, and that's it. And the fun is that on my
Added
SoundCloud,
some finishing touches. Like,
but on my SoundCloud, most of my tracks are just things that I stream to a friend saying, what do you think about that? And the friend said, yeah, it's cool. So, well, that's
Ready
it.
for the release.
And you cannot do it again because it's played live. So I like the live interaction, and I don't like polishing too much. When I polish, usually I tame. So the raw ID, the energy, it gets lost.
But do you record multi-track so you can master it later, or not even that?
Yeah. I always like for that. I'm a real. I'm pretty hardcore on the number of tracks, and I always route a lot of stuff to a mixer, which means I can, when I press record, I can then mix. I have everything isolated, so it's pretty hectic for my poor computer. But
you can do some mastering afterwards then, if you want to tweak some stuff. Okay.
And for collaboration, like when I tried Distant One, the only ones that worked were with people that were very different from me. Like the more distant from my music, the best it went. Because usually they do super quiet music, things like that, and I can add the pumpy sauce, and then the result is good. If it's too much like my style, it will just make an endless loop of back and forth, and we never finish. We just jam.
It will collide a bit. Yeah, it's better
and
to complement.
But once again, I always let go. Basically, for most of the things that I do, I prefer not to care, because what is important for me is the result, not my part or not my ideal stuff. But usually,
don't you then feel like you don't really own that?
Yes, I don't care.
That you only had like a minor contribution to the thing. I had a few of those when I did some collaborations where most of the other person did most of the work. I feel like, yeah, that's not really my track. That's like that's his thing. But
it's the story behind. Like most of my recent collaboration, like even with group, like I did a 4K track for Rift and all. It's mostly just friendship and doing it with friends. I don't really care if it's about participating.
Yeah, okay.
I don't really care if it's group. I like the fact that at one moment we were together, we did something cool. We are proud of the result. It's a good memory, and voila. I'm not really into trying to make something super. I understand people going into polish and trying to have everything fine-tuned and all, but I think it's destructive for me, because if I go this route, I will be very. It will be nasty.
For me, it's compartmentalizing. Like you have to separate the let's play phase versus the we're gonna polish phase.
Yeah, that's what I do. When I have to release a track, I have that phase, but I hate it. Really, that phase.
It is the shit part.
It's super painful. So.
I think it's from a because you're kind of from a techno background, like the whole techno ethos back then was to just plug all the boxes in together, hit record, and just smash just jam on them, and then just your EP was recorded in a weekend, because you'd have like one way you configured it this way, one way you did it that way, and you just jam them out like. And because I used to do a bit of that, because I had a few groove boxes in loop machines, and that's how I used to write my early techno tunes, just with like sync up Rebirth on the PC to the Roland MC505 and the Yamaha loop unit, and just like jam there and just mute and unmute stuff, it's lots of fun. Like I do miss. I mean, I recently bought a push, an Ableton push, which is loads of fun because you can just jam with it. And that's the bit that's missing, I think, from music production when you're doing it just in a DAW with a keyboard or whatever. Is just having that kind of I've just smashed some stuff together.
Well, what software do you guys use? Are you all Ableton Live guys or?
I definitely
Pro Tracker all the way.
I'm Ableton Live and LSDJ. And in particular, I actually switched to Ableton Live, like. Actually relevant to this discussion, because it felt like a toy, and like it kind of got me out of that everything has to be perfect mindset, where I could just kind of throw things around and like not care, because it just like Ableton Live looks like shit and it looks like a toy, and I found that was an advantage in like separating myself mentally from the details.
Yeah, I found that recently as well, because I only recently moved to Ableton Live. Because I was using Cubase, and what you find is that I do love Cubase. If you're doing a professional mix in it, then yes, that's what I would want to use. But with Ableton, you can see everything, and all the other options that you wouldn't normally need if you're smashing a tune together or jamming and putting stuff in it's hidden away, because you don't need it when you're putting layers together. It just strips it all back into just basically the components you need. Which is why I really like it. But obviously, if you're gonna do something a bit more pro, then you probably want to hike that out of there and then put it into something else.
Okay, so more questions from the chat. Question for Hoffman: how does it feel to be nearly 80? nearly 40. I mean, so
Wow.
it was like double.
Yeah, it feels pretty good actually, to be honest.
Okay.
I'm not one to, as long as I have a good birthday party, then that's all that matters, surely. It's just an excuse to get really wrecked.
Speaking of revision.
Another question: best demo party to go for your first time ever? So revision,
Oh,
I guess.
Tersak.
Tersak.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
I'm sorry. Tersak's my favorite party. it's just so goddamn goofy. Like it's just
It's
nothing. Like it actually runs.
They
really
have
smoothly.
Vikings.
Well,
Oh,
so
nice.
they
And
have a
ducks.
theme every year. Last year there was Vikings, but I particularly love the Japanese theme year because they played a bunch of Kirai Kami on the big screen and Luguber just got pissed the whole time. So that was special to me. But just generally, like, Tersak is just a ridiculous party. It's because the whole vibe of them putting it together, like, everyone's just there to have fun, especially the organizers. And it's growing, but it's still cozy. So I really like Tersak, and I would highly recommend that one, at least if you're in the Nordics.
Alkama, what about your recommendation?
really, I think revision is I think it's the best one to have everything at once and to be just mesmerized by what people produce, because honestly, the release at revision are beyond everything you will see in any other party. It's a massive slap in the face. So if you like electronic arts, not the brand.
For me, it was a slap somewhere else this year.
Yeah, but it's like you will be baffled. You will stand in the middle of the hall and not understand what happened to you for the last 10 minutes and be just wow. You will have this one prod after the other one is just like they go crazy, and like look at this year, it's crazy. Like the 4K, the 64K, you could like 5 or 6 production in a row, like the 5 or it never ended, and well, you say, oh, this is the winner, and the next one, oh, this is the winner, and it's
No,
like,
this is the real winner.
yeah, but 6 times, like it, and it's like it never ends. And they also cool, and when you go back home, you change your mind and say, okay, this one was also cool. So, but since it's the biggest one, if you want to just meet sceners and talk to them, and if you want a really comfy ambience and still party a bit, really Evoke, I think, because it's human size, and you still find a lot of cool sceners there, and you have time to talk and to chat and learn some tricks, Chirasak, if you want to party, I heard a lot of good things with Chirasak, but it's probably like if you really want to party, like and enjoy the party, Chirasak can be a good thing.
I actually code the whole party, but I just love the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Another question
Also, don't
from
do
the
that.
forum: what's your favorite module?
Oh.
Oh,
No, I haven't heard it. It was from like Assembly like 2005, and it was this had like guitars and shit in it. Oh man.
Yoga? Digital? The guitar sleeve?
It was IT, and it had like 20 tracks.
Oh,
I don't know if that helps.
might have been Yogi then.
Guitar, I said, yeah, maybe.
I actually haven't heard the song in like 6 years, but I just remember it in my head.
I like those old Dusk Pop
Next.
ones, like Shadowrunner, and those are really cool. What about Hoffman? You're a master of the mods. What's your favorite mod?
Oh, that's a ridiculous question to ask me, isn't it? Really? I mean, I have
It's so
I don't know. There are so many that I like, and there's so many that I really hate as well. But I think I don't know. This is.
Focus on the ones you like.
I'd probably say one of my most favourites is probably Wonka Honk by Aceman, just because that tracked music compo revision that year was off the hook. It was crazy, and his was just like, I mean, it's just, yeah, he nearly kicked my ass. Like, he nearly kicked my ass. That was amazing. I love it because it's just, I love that kind of when you're doing the showy off bits, within your pattern data where you show stuff on screen or whatever, or you jump it about, but to be able to do it while at the same time having a bloody good tune underneath the bass of it, because I think there's actually, I suppose another favourite of mine is Black Queen. I can't remember who it's by. But it's in the Pro Tracker seminar I did a few years ago, and it's just the craziest thing you've ever seen in Pro Tracker. I mean, it's just all over the place. It's a mess. I mean, it's just like jumping all over the place. But it sounds bloody terrible. I mean, the music it's just. I mean, it's bad. It's really bad. It's not.
I remember this IT that I once saw. Where it played Tetris.
In fact, you should just, if you can get it up, Black Queen by Dreamer. If you've got a Pro Tracker YouTube of it, you should watch it because it is mental.
No, Faye says that
but
it's
it sounds
Dreamer, yeah.
terrible. So yeah,
I remember some
that
tracker
kind of
modules where you would see Tetris falling down on the view part.
Yeah, I've worked. Yeah, there's a way of doing it. You know, you can do it. It depends. But obviously, it depends on what you're looking at it in as well. Like, if you
what
watch
about
it in
you,
Alkama?
Alkama? What's your favorite mod? You're gonna say something by Dune. I know it.
Me?
No.
Yes.
No. I reckon probably the first Anarchy 3D demo. Actually, it's by Travolta. That was called. No, Julius. It was called Mad Freak back then. And I was really into rave music at the time. I was only about 14, and then I just stole every single sample out of this tune because it just had every rave stab
you had
could
to
possibly imagine, like all of them in one mod, and a fat breakbeat that had been just maxed out like that, and it was just the chunkiest thing I ever heard. I was like, I'm stealing all of these. So yeah, I reckon that actually, which I think it's just called. I don't know what it's called now, actually. But it's from the 3D demo by Anarchy. Yeah, by Mad Freak, aka Julius.
Alkama, what's your favorite mod?
All-time favorite, I'd say it's probably something from Jaakko Manninen, so Melody.
Okay.
Because it's something that you cannot come up, like he has a touch.
Something from Apple Sap, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. And you cannot imitate what he did. It's just fantastic, mind blowing.
Very experimental.
Yeah, and if I say an old school one, I would say still Moby from Sanity. Like he really had a style too back then, and Gru also, of course, because Gru,
Gru made a lot of metal stuff, wasn't it, with guitars and weird.
Weird noise.
Samples.
It was really the start of some really abstract stuff on Amiga too, and like with the CNCD stuff, where it was mind blowing, and I really liked that style, and I think it drove the scene to something more out of this world and trying to go out of Eurodance kind of stuff, or the classic ST01 pack of sound from Amiga. I have a lot of like Radix, of course. Radix was like marvelous melodies.
Those late '90s like IDM modules that were coming out, especially in like a lot of like 64Ks too, where the sound was just super rough. I just love that stuff.
It's crazy, and of course Dune. B-States. Even if I prefer I like the mod of B-States too. I like his XMN modes too. But I was going to say that I prefer the MP3 or streaming versions. But no, I think he did so many good things too. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, this era, like definitely, my favorite stuff were IDM kind of stuff and hectic, strange stuff. Like.
Okay, so another question from the chat. What's your favorite Amiga demo?
Total Triple Trouble by Rebels, hands down. One of the best Amiga demos ever made. Love it. Yeah, it's like because obviously with the Amiga it was the whole copper bars thing, which obviously you just use the copper to poke the background color register. Well, this demo, I think it's only about 86K as well, or something silly like that. Soundtrack is absolutely kicking by Static, and it's just like it's like they turned the copper effects the other way around, and everyone was just like, "Whether you're not supposed to do it that way. Like, what are you doing?" But they've got like little video clips and stuff in there. It's brilliant. I love this demo.
Alkama, Ferris, what are your favorite Amiga demos?
Alkama, go first.
The one that comes to mind is, of course, Nine Fingers or State of the Art, but it's the obvious one.
It's a classic.
I'd say Sumea from Virtual Dreams. It was one of my, for a long time, I was like the soundtrack, the visuals, and I think it was only one guy doing it too, or something like that. But I don't know. I really liked that production. Like back in the days, I was addicted to it. So.
What about you, Ferris?
It's a pretty new one, mocked by Spaceballs.
Okay. Well, that was easy. Well, another question we had on the chat. What's your next Demoscene challenge? So what are you guys up to now? Or next?
Can I not say?
It's a
He wants to keep it a secret, yeah.
Yeah, you will have to go to Solskogen to find out.
You're just
Maybe.
Oh come on,
Or
come on,
Evoke.
Ferris. Surely you're just trying to squeeze bytes out of. Data,
Yeah,
aren't you?
that's true. That's one thing I can share. So right now, one of the things I'm working on is a 64K compressor. Not something we need, but just one of the things I wanted to do since I was a teenager. And actually finally being able to do it and do it competitively. So been working a lot on that lately. So I guess that's the next challenge.
You're gonna stream that, I hope.
I'm gonna stream the result of it.
Excellent. No, I don't mean about the technique. I like it's so fun to watch your streams and
I appreciate it.
yeah.
What about
So
you,
yeah,
Alkama?
he's streaming, so you have to watch his streams like every Thursday, every Saturday.
Yeah,
he does
if you
crazy
don't
stuff.
know about Ferris streams, you should definitely
Okay.
follow him. I follow him. I host him when I'm not streaming anything, so well worth checking out. Alkama, what are
So
are
my
you planning?
next step,
to do?
I said it basically for Evoke. I have something I cannot miss because it's it's a challenge too. You know? But you know that I will do something cheesy for Evoke, at least on a false name. And yeah, I really started working again on 64K too. Not because of the challenge, but like it's probably the only form that still interests me.
I have one thing that I want to talk about. When Conspiracy won the Meteorics Award for Best Demo, and it was their 64K, yeah, they won 3, but one of them was for the Best Demo, and the Best Demo is actually 64K, and Garguy very daringly
I didn't mean to
said,
just play that. I tried to cue it up. Sorry about that.
why don't we have an award for
It's perfect
64K?
time now, yeah. It's time for some macked.
But it does seem that there are not many people doing 64Ks. There are a lot more people doing demos. It's always been like that, and it's kind of
A
died
lot of
out.
people doing 4Ks.
Yeah, 4K has always been... 4K is the new 1K, somehow. And we actually had a question on the chat asking about music for 1K. Well, music for 1K is very limited. You can do stuff, but it's always... You end up doing
I wrote a
MIDI.
1K synth in 2009.
Yeah.
But it was actually more like a 1.2K synth, so.
So my question was, what's the future for? Do you think there are more people like Alkama going back to doing 64Ks, or is this just gonna die out like it
Yes.
did a few years ago?
Yeah. I think it's really funny actually because obviously Savannah, my wife, has been coming to Revision for the last 4 or 5 years, and out of all the compos that we watch, like every year we've been to Revision, it's just been that 64K compo, been the best as it's ever been. Like the first year it was amazing, and then the second year she came, it was better than last year, and every year it just gets better because more people are just chipping in and giving it a go, I reckon.
64K has a really strong community right now.
Yeah, but it's a very small niche. I mean, you only have good 64K entries at Revision. You used to have them at assembly, then they even didn't have enough entries at all to have the compo. And now
But
it seems that
remember
the
back
best entries of 64K are always at Revision. You don't see any other 64Ks. They are really good quality at other parties. I can't think of any.
It takes some time. Like it takes the same amount of time of it. Yeah, of course. It takes.
That wasn't from Revision.
Yeah. But Elysian. Yeah. But I think you take a lot of time to do them, and when you do them, you don't want to win. I think you don't want to win a surprise.
Party.
Yeah, not a smaller party, but if you win and there is no concurrence, you know, somehow you want to compete.
Yeah, want the competition.
Yeah, the fun. Like if you go to a party, you don't care about winning, or some people care about winning, but most of the time it's at least take part and have fun. And it's still cool to be played on the big screen. And Revision is probably also because it's just the largest party. It has a perfect sound system. It has a perfect screen, and and everybody is there together to enjoy.
But it's going to end up in the system that you have to wait a whole year to watch again.
Yeah, I know.
A good 64K.
But when you put a lot of effort into something, you don't want to release it anywhere. Unless you're really like somehow you want also to mark a landmark and to be able to enjoy it with maximal amount of friends, because that's part of the fun too.
Yeah. So another question from the chat: how do you find inspiration, ideas, and keep your creativity? So who wants to go first?
Hard work and determination.
You do hard work and then good ideas just pop up.
Eating paint.
Eating paint or sniffing glue.
Well, lead-based, yeah.
Yeah, the good stuff.
Yeah.
So what about you, Alkama? What's your
for the music? I'd say, like for demos, nothing except maybe other like the need to do something, probably something technical. Like I have some techniques that I want to implement, and they drive me to something different, to visually. But mostly back in the days and still nowadays, it's mostly technique. For music, it's different. It's like a painting. I have an idea, and since I cannot paint and I cannot draw, well, I do it in music. And sometimes the name gives the idea, but for the tracks that I take care and try to polish, the rare ones that I polish, I tell a story basically, and the story is like I describe a painting. So it's very visual, it's fun, but
okay. I think we're about done with the show. What do you guys think? Do you guys have any specific questions you would like to ask our guests, or do any of you guys they are currently on the chat or on the Skype with me? Do you guys have anything in particular you want to discuss? No. I want to go to sleep.
oh my goodness.
Actually, a little bit more on the inspiration stuff. Like I said, Vimeo, but I actually love motion graphics generally. Like just these short 30-second to 2-minute pieces that are just like a concept or some kind of small story. And my hope is to eventually really kind of pull off that kind of look in 64K as well. And the more recent ones have kind of been, for me, more tool testy. I mean, the Engage was a lot more heavy in terms of at least ideas, but yeah, kind of wanted to develop in that direction. Like I want to do motion graphics, but the skills I have are Demoscene. So
don't get sucked into the motion graphics industry.
Oh
I don't think I will.
You will install Cinema 4D and start.
I remember this from the party. From it's LFT, isn't it? Mind is Born.
It's pretty good.
Or like a
Very
mind
experimental.
Yeah, Mind is Blowing. Yeah. I love the fact he's just picked it. There's only about 4 or 5 notes in this whole tune, but they just perfectly picked and beautifully arranged.
256 bytes.
It's
That's
crazy.
all you need.
Apparently.
Put it a little louder. Okay, I think that's it for this show. Thank you everyone for joining us. Our guests, of course, Alkama, Ferris, and DJ Hoffman. Also, thank you guys all from SceneSet who were trying with me to get this also streaming into SceneSet. Unfortunately, we didn't manage to get it working, but we hope to be able to for next stream. I'm gonna try to do this show every other week. So the next one will be Wednesday, 2 weeks from now. If you guys have any suggestions for guests, people who are not camera shy, please send me an email or send me their email so I can contact them. Yeah,
you should get in touch with Nobby. Or Nobi. I don't know how you
Nobi,
pronounce it.
yeah.
Nobi.
I had
As
him
far
on the
as I'm
show once
concerned-
or twice.
I like the ambiguity.
But we
I-
like
I-
him.
I-
Bring him back.
As far as I'm concerned, he's called Nobby. Alright.
No pet.
Like a knob.
yeah.
But yeah,
Fizzer.
okay, Fizzer might be a good idea. Okay, I think that's it. So bye bye everyone. Thanks for joining. See you next time. Take care.
Bye.